On November 1st, 2019, Donald Trump tweeted, "ISIS has a new leader. We know exactly who he is." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. With a Trump administration scandal in the Middle East going on, I felt it was appropriate to do this tweet. And this is the rare great Trump tweet that came out during his presidency. Because as I discussed on previous episodes talking about Trump, I honestly do believe that the more power he's gotten, the worse of a poster he's become. And so this was a rare return to form. This tweet should be simple. He should just be making an announcement about how ISIS has a new leader and that they have intel on the guy who took over. But that's not how he phrased it. He had to phrase it in both a very simple way, but also a way that only he would say it. Because both the parts of the statement are completely true and basically unobjectionable. At the time, ISIS did have a new leader, and obviously the American government knew who the new leader was. What happened was that the US military took out ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in a raid, and after that occurred, ISIS announced that their new leader was Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurashi. And as Dr. Eugene Gu points out in the comments of Trump's post, this wasn't really great detective work by the Trump administration. ISIS announced themselves who the new leader was. But there's just something so funny about the simplicity and sort of like unofficialness of "we know exactly who he is." And it also might be the funniest use of an exclamation point in any tweet ever, because it changes the tone of the sentence so much. Because if it's "ISIS has a new leader, we know exactly who he is," that feels like a sober analysis of the situation. But with the exclamation point, it feels like a proclamation that everyone should pay attention to. "You think you can pull a fast one, ISIS, but we know exactly who your new leader is." Now, this alone is a pretty funny Trump post, but the reason it's important is not because of the tweet itself. It's because it has almost inexplicably become a really common meme, especially on sports Twitter. The idea being that you use this caption or you quote tweet this post with a photo or the name of someone who you want to imply is the new leader of ISIS. I don't know who the first person who did this was, but it was hilarious whoever decided to do it. The reason why I say I don't know who the first person to do it was is because I actually can't really find out. Because of the ways that Twitter is now broken, I can't sort quote tweets by date of post. And when I scroll through the quote tweets on this post, of which there are many, it stops around late 2024. So all the examples I have are from very recently. But trust that this has been a thing people have been doing for years. Now, people did make the joke I'm describing, saying that someone they know or a famous person is the new leader of ISIS almost immediately. The day it was posted, actress and podcaster Dylan Galula posted, "It's Brody Gupta," who is the co-host of her podcast. And friend of the show, Fred Delicious, quote tweeted it, and I was able to find this because I follow him, quote tweeted the tweet with a photo of the Hamburglar. I don't know why it is funny to imply that whoever you're putting in a photo is the new leader of ISIS, but it is. Now, like I said, this meme is really used in sports Twitter a lot. I would have actually saved this for Sports Tweet Saturday if I had realized that going in. Like, I kept trying to find examples of non-sports figures, and I just wasn't finding any. But here are a couple I found. From the day it was posted, James used as a caption for a photo of a poster of Morrissey performing with Interpol. "ISIS is a new leader, we know exactly who he is," implying that Morrissey is the new leader of ISIS. Recently, Spartan Locke said that Playboy Cardi is the new leader of ISIS. And Koala posted a photo of Triple H to imply he's the new leader of ISIS. But other than that, it's mostly sports figures. I apologize. Maybe it's only sports fans that are so depraved that they think that it's appropriate to insult someone by implying that they're the leader of ISIS. Anyway, a very recent example is that Overtime Nico said that Bubba Cunningham is the new leader of ISIS. Bubba Cunningham is the athletic director of the University of North Carolina, and he was on the selection committee for March Madness, and North Carolina got in over some teams people thought were more deserving, so they thought he was corrupt, people got mad at him, yada yada yada. After Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers, lots and lots of people used a photo of Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, to say that he's the leader of ISIS. Going back to March Madness, Uncle John's band said that John Calipari, the current coach of University of Arkansas basketball, is the new leader of ISIS. JJ said the same thing about Michigan football coach Sharon Moore. And on multiple occasions, this is just an example from Zach, people have posted photos of NBA referees that they're mad at. And in case you're wondering if this phenomenon crosses the pond, it does. Ronan used a photo of Celtic FC player Greg Taylor. I don't know what Greg Taylor did to deserve a tweet implying that he's the new leader of ISIS, but Ronan said it, I didn't. And one that's just dumb is that Dip Wheeler posted a photo of Dave Portnoy, the CEO of Barstool. This is obviously not accurate. Dave is not the new leader of ISIS, but has he done as much damage to the world as a leader of ISIS has? That's a good question. Anyway, I think the reason why it took off as a meme in this way is because it's such an absurd thing to say about someone that it is inherently funny. Like, if someone actually took this seriously, if they saw a tweet where someone quoted it and put a photo of them and actually got mad, you'd be like, come on, man, there's no way it's serious. No one actually thinks that GM of the Mavericks, Nico Harrison, is the new leader of ISIS. And I think the thing about sports Twitter is that it is always trying to one-up itself in hyperbole. And so at some point, someone decided it would be funny to say say that a coach or a referee or a player was the new leader of ISIS, and it took off. And I personally love that. The actual meaning of this tweet is completely divorced from how it's used now. No one is thinking about how Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed when they are retweeting this tweet. They're thinking about how much they hate Bubba Cunningham for putting UNC into March Madness. And honestly, that's completely fair. What on earth is the athletic director of a school that is involved in college basketball doing on the committee that picks March Madness? That's ridiculous. I'm not even a fan of any of the teams got knocked out, but like, what are we doing? Follow me for a new tweet every day, and if you're a fan of the show, please consider subscribing at patreon.com/Museum of Twitter. It supports the show, and you get access to the Discord where you can vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays, and the weekly Museum of Not Twitter.